Anxiety in your sex life, how it steals your pleasure, and how to take it back. The silent bedroom and the restless mind. Ever felt that sharp pang of fear, or your heart racing at the exact moment when intimacy should be sparking? That pit in your stomach that's not excitement, but worry. Maybe it's an insecurity that freezes you in place, making you overthink every move, every touch, until spontaneity slips away like sand through your fingers. Or worse, the desire just isn't there. You feel distant, like there's an invisible wall between you and pleasure, between you and your partner. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. The truth is, behind a cold bed or a stolen moment of intimacy, it's often not a lack of love or physical attraction at play. It's something deeper, yet so common. Anxiety. Yep, that old frenemy that hounds us at work, school, or with bills to pay, also sneaks into our bedrooms, crashing our sex lives. And let's be real, it's the worst kind of guest. If you've ever wondered why your sex life isn't at what you dream it could be, why the spark seems to have fizzled, or why getting naked feels like a mental minefield, this is for you. We're going to unpack how anxiety quietly creeps into your intimate moments, robbing you of pleasure, connection, and even your self-esteem. But here's the good news. There's a way to turn things around, to reignite that fire, to make your bedroom a sanctuary of joy again, not a mental battlefield. Stick with me to the end, because what you're about to learn could completely change how you experience intimacy, how anxiety sneaks into your bedroom and works behind the scenes. So, how does anxiety manage to worm its way into something as natural and instinctive as your sex life? Picture it as an invisible conductor, leading an orchestra of negative thoughts and physical reactions that, instead of creating a symphony of pleasure, churn out a deafening noise that drowns out connection. At its core, anxiety is your body's natural response to stress or perceived danger. The problem? In today's world, our brains don't always know the difference between real danger, like being chased by a bear, and imagined threats like worrying about performing in bed. When that anxiety switch flips, a flood of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline surges through you. And what does that do to your body? For starters, your brain shifts focus from pleasure and arousal to fight or flight. Think about it. In a real crisis, the last thing your body needs is blood flowing to your genitals. It's all about pumping blood to your big muscles so you can run or fight. That's why anxiety can lead to issues like erectile difficulties for men, or low lubrication and arousal challenges for women. It's pure physiology reacting to stress. But it doesn't stop there. Anxiety also messes with your head. It bombards you with catastrophic thoughts. Will I be able to do this? What if I mess up? What will they think of me? Am I even attractive enough? That inner critic gets so loud it drowns out any flicker of desire. You start obsessing over performance instead of savoring the moment. Every touch gets overanalyzed, every moan gets scrutinized, and spontaneity? It's gone. It's a brutal trap. The more you worry about feeling pleasure or pleasing your partner, the less pleasure you actually feel. That frustration just fuels more anxiety, locking you into a vicious cycle that's tough to break. This is the performance anxiety cycle, one of the most common ways anxiety sabotages your sex life. You become a spectator of your own experience instead of a participant. And let's not forget about libido. If you're constantly stressed, mentally drained, or juggling 1,000 thoughts at once, there's just no energy left for desire. Your libido is like a barometer for your overall well-being, and anxiety throws that gauge way out of whack. Then there's the emotional toll. Intimacy isn't just physical, it's about vulnerability and trust. Anxiety builds walls, makes you shut down, and pushes your partner away, chipping away at the trust and affection that keep a healthy sex life thriving. So yeah, anxiety isn't just a mental nuisance. It's a silent saboteur, working behind the scenes to undermine your body, your mind, and your closest relationships. But here's the silver lining. Once you understand how it operates, you can start dismantling its traps. Before we dive deeper, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more content like this. Breaking the cycle, strategies to turn things around. The good news, as I mentioned, is that anxiety in your sex life isn't a life sentence. It's a challenge you can overcome with self-awareness, patience, and the right tools. The first and perhaps most crucial step is simply recognizing that anxiety is the culprit. Stop blaming yourself, your partner, or a supposed lack of chemistry. Accepting that anxiety is the issue is already half the battle won. One of the most powerful tools at your disposal is communication. A lot of people feel embarrassed or scared to talk about these struggles, but keeping it bottled up only feeds the problem. Open up to your partner. Share what's going on, without guilt or shame. Try something like, "Hey, I've been feeling anxious lately, and it's messing with our intimacy. It's not about you. It's just what's going on in my head." That kind of honesty builds trust and teamwork, and it can lift a huge weight off your shoulders, one you might not even realize you're carrying. Your partner might be feeling the same way, or at the very least, they can be your biggest ally. Next, let's tackle the body and mind. Remember how anxiety triggers that fight or flight mode? We need to teach your body to chill out. Mindfulness and deep breathing are game changers. Before or during an intimate moment, focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose, feel the air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Tune into the sensations in your body, the touch, the scents, the sounds. This pulls your focus away from anxious thoughts and grounds you in the moment, where pleasure lives. There are tons of apps and guided meditation videos that can help you practice this daily, not just in the bedroom. Another key move is redefining what success looks like. Performance anxiety often comes from tying sexual success to one specific outcome, like orgasm or penetration. What if you flipped that script? Success can be about connection, the joy of caresses, kisses, or intimacy without pressure. Explore other ways to feel pleasure that don't hinge on performance. Take the have to out of the equation and focus on feeling. Rediscovering your body and your partner, as through non-genital touch and exploration, can be an amazing way to ease anxiety and reignite that spark. Sex doesn't have to be a sprint. It can be a marathon of affection and discovery. And if anxiety is a constant issue, affecting more than just your sex life, it might be time to consider professional help. A sex therapist or a psychologist who specializes in anxiety can offer tailored tools and strategies. Sometimes, sexual anxiety is just a symptom of a bigger issue that needs addressing. There is no shame in seeking help. It is a sign of strength and a commitment to your well-being. The goal isn't to banish anxiety from your life entirely. It's a human emotion after all. But to turn down its volume so it is no longer calling the shots in your sex life. With these tools, you can start dismantling anxiety's grip and make room for pleasure, connection, and a fulfilling sex life. The path back to pleasure and connection. We've reached the end of our deep dive into how anxiety can impact your sex life and, more importantly, how to reclaim your pleasure and connection. We've seen that anxiety isn't just a feeling. It's a powerful force that messes with your body, your mind, and your closest relationships, stealing spontaneity, desire, and even the physical ability to feel pleasure. It turns you into an anxious onlooker instead of an engaged participant. But the key to turning things around isn't a magic pill or an instant fix. It's about understanding, communicating, and taking action. By recognizing how anxiety shows up, physically and mentally, you take the first step toward dismantling its traps. Honest, open communication with your partner is a cornerstone, turning a personal struggle into a shared challenge that strengthens your bond instead of pushing you apart. And then there are the practical tools. Breathing deeply, practicing mindfulness, shifting your focus from performance to pleasure, and daring to explore new ways of being intimate. Every small win with these strategies is a step toward a richer, more satisfying sex life. The goal isn't perfection. It's giving yourself permission to be vulnerable, to feel, to reconnect with yourself and your partner. If any of this resonates with you, know that you're not alone. So many people fight this silent battle. But the great news is that the path back to pleasure and intimacy is real and within reach. You have the power to change the dynamic. Be patient with yourself, celebrate every small victory, and don't hesitate to seek professional support if you need an extra hand. Your sexual and emotional well-being are worth every bit of effort. Invest in yourself, invest in your connection, and let yourself rediscover the beauty and freedom of a sex life unburdened by anxiety. Your intimacy will thank you. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more content like this.